Hello, this is Charles Cook with the Charles Cook Podcast. The focus of this podcast is on state and local issues here in the state of Tennessee. You can follow my podcast on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Alexa. Just search the Charles Cook Podcast to find those. You can find me on Rumble at Charles Cook 52. And just like and subscribe when you find me on one of those platforms, and you'll get notified whenever I upload new content. And you can find all those links on my podcast webpage at charlescookpodcast.buzzsprout.com. And if you want to email me, contact me about a show idea or something, you email me at charlescookpodcast@gmail.com. So today should be a very interesting interview here. I have my guest is Josh Gagnier. He is with Mission Phoenix. And with that, Josh, welcome and tell us about your group.
Thank you so much for having me. A little bit about Mission Phoenix is we are a local 501c3 nonprofit. We are a charitable organization that works with local veterans that struggle with PTSD, and we work with their families as well by way of counseling and resources and training. That's kind of been what we've been doing for the last few years, virtually over the internet across the country, and now we're actually bringing it here locally to where we're located at in Blount County, with hopes of a facility real soon and impacting a lot of local lives.
Okay. So you work with veterans, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Now, do they have to be combat veterans or?
They do not have to be combat veterans. They, in fact, this was something that was brought up in a recent board meeting. We are here to surface any military veteran, active, non-active, as well as spouse, children, anyone that's affected by anything that is post-traumatic during their stay in our government facilities or in war or wherever they're about.
Yeah. I know that I don't know the actual numbers now, but I do know that for the last several years that veteran suicide rates have been about 22 per day in the country. And that is terrible. And I think one thing that we do, we call veterans our heroes, our military members heroes, but we sure don't treat them like that. In my opinion, a lot of them get treated as second-class citizens. We'll send them off and put them through stuff like that. And we get home, the government basically forgets about them. And thank God we got people like you that are willing to help those people out, those veterans out. And I've seen it, veterans that I know a few that have had bad issues and taken their lives.
Yeah.
And whether it be once they come back home or years down the road. My uncle that I was named after, that's how I got my name, was sent to Vietnam when my mother was pregnant with me. And so he asked my mom if she had a boy, would she name him after him, because he didn't think he'd come back home.
Right.
And he come back from Vietnam, but he was never
the same.
Never the same.
Yeah.
So, so these issues, I see this, and I think it's great, the work that you're doing and everything. And so in my question for you, how do people go about getting to you and getting some help?
Well, first to speak to the point of 22 veterans a day, that is something that it's a significant number that a lot of people do hear constantly. In fact, you'll see a lot of insignias from companies that have the 22 in it. Even our company here, we've got 22. We get it reversed because that's one of our slogans, is reversing the number. 22 is on a good day, and I think that's what a lot of people need to understand. During the pandemic, it was up to about 45 a day, and that doesn't include drug overdoses or alcoholism or anything like that. That is strictly choosing to take their life by way of force, putting yourself in a situation that is going to end your life. I know for the reason why we started our company is in 2017, I watched my father become one of the 22. And it was something that devastated me to the point that I don't want other families to go through what we went through. And had I known now, or known then what I know now, I do believe it'd be different. And that's why we want to really focus on working with the families so that they understand the trauma that can happen in their brain, and something that is a long-term thing that you may not see it every day, but you can learn the signs and be preventative and be that first responder when they're in need. We are locally, we're trying to establish ourselves. Like I said, we've been for three and a half years, we've been virtual. So that means that basically I will get on social media, whether it be TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, and we'll do live sessions. And then we'll have veterans that are just random veterans that are struggling. We'll get online with us and we'll counsel with them in front of everybody. And that's a way that we can get the sort of help they need out there, as well as those that don't want to seek out help, but they'll sure listen to help. And that's what we've been doing for about 3.5 years. And now our goal is, we actually want to have a facility where our veterans can come into an office, sit down, and counsel. Our goal is through 2023 to actually secure that facility, open up those doors, and have a meeting ground or a lighthouse, so to speak, for our veteran community. That's only going to come with community response, with our local businesses coming alongside of us. You know, I'm just one person. We've got right now we've got about 14 trained counselors that are ready to go. I counsel on a regular basis with local veterans that are here in town. We meet in local places because it's necessary. I don't want to just say, you know, once we get the facility, we're going to start. We're already started. We're already active. And usually people reach out to me directly through social media, and it will be able to place them with counselors that are local to meet with them. I know our goal for our first quarter, like I said, we just had our board meeting. Our goal for our first quarter is to actually have a program for our veterans, so they can come in. It's about a 10-week program, kind of walking through some basic things that can help them to deal with certain things in their life that they're struggling with. It's not a sit down counseling session. This is kind of like a group thing where we discuss things, where we dig in deep to the root of what the problems are, and then find ways that can help that veteran to get through it. And a lot of the veterans, their best way of help is through other veterans. So we don't want to rob them of that. That's why we wanted to make it a group effort, where the local community, the local veterans are helping other local veterans. They miss that brotherhood. They miss that bond that they had when they were in the military. So we want to bring that back to them and give them a place where they can meet together, they can learn together, they can heal together, and grow together. You know, and we've got a lot of plans, but that's our first set of plan of action, is to really get this facility rocking and rolling.
So, question is here, if a family member of a veteran that they know may need help, or if a veteran who needs help, how do they find you?
So they can go to missionphoenix.org. That is our main location. Now, one thing I want to emphasize: we're not a crisis response team.
Right.
Meaning we're not there to, you know, as the hotline. We're there as the ongoing, preventative maintenance, so to speak, for veteran suicide. But by all means, reaching out to us through the website. We've got a place there that has our information on there. You can also, on any social media, is usually the fastest way, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We're Mission Phoenix org on the web, on social medias. And on Facebook, we're actually Mission Phoenix 22, only because Mission Phoenix org was taken, and we're still fighting to get that back since we do own the name. So, but that's the best way to reach out to us. Someone does get, I check those constantly myself. Now, it's not just me. We do have, like I said, we got a board of members, we have counselors and stuff, but I kind of monitor everything because for the last 3.5 years, that's all I've done. And I want to make sure that they get to the right person so they can get immediate help, whether it be meeting them at 2 o'clock in the morning, talking to them through the night, whatever it is that needs to take place, even sending someone to the house if need be. That's what we want to do. We want to be there. But again, like I said, we're not a crisis response team.
Right.
We're really, our goal is to be preventative maintenance, training the veterans how to look for signs in their own life, in their own mind, how to react, how to calm themselves down, and then training the families how to look for signs for certain things, and not trigger events, but diffuse events, and to walk alongside their spouses or their parents, whatever it is, and help them to get through that. We also like to, my big thing is, I look at the way my dad was and how I grew up. And I just thought, my dad was a certain way. And I know these children in some of these homes, they think their fathers don't love them, that they're angry, or they're violent, and all this, misconception of what's really happening, when I think if they understood their parent loves them and they care for them, but they're struggling, and give them the tools that they need to actually battle with their parents or with their spouse alongside of them instead of fighting against them, I think we can make some serious changes.
Yeah. I remember reading a story about a father and son that he was talking about. His dad was I think he served like 3 tours in Vietnam, and he his dad was a very hard man. His dad loved him, but it's just the way he was. And he actually walked the Appalachian Trail by himself. And when the son said, once his dad come back, finished his walk on that trail, that he'd actually seemed more loving and more relaxed. And the dad said, I was able to be alone and work out some of my demons on that trail by myself. And so we know that people are fighting those things in their minds. I mean, you look at even the ones who don't go to the point of suicide, they end up homeless.
Yeah.
And can't hold the jobs and stuff like that. And so even to that point, have y'all ever maybe tried to work out with some of the homeless shelters, or like
we have, so at this point we have not, but I'll give you kind of a little glimpse of where we're going to go at. In fact, I brought our board meeting notes. We went over quite a few things for our first meeting of the year. Our goal is going to be, our first step is going to be a lighthouse location, basically a meeting place for veterans to come and hang out together. At that meeting place, we're going to also have a facility where they can get counsel, where they can get life coaches, where they can get people that can speak into their life. That's going to be our first phase on it. One of our next phases is really going to be, I want to have a facility where we can start working into our homeless veterans' lives. Now, there are companies that are doing a great job with that right in Blount County, but we want to team up even with them, because I don't want to reinvent the wheel. Right. I'm not here to make a business. I'm here to fix a problem. So if we got people that are actually doing that stuff, I want to team up with them. I want to do something with them. But we want to take the homeless out of the homeless shelters, basically give them a place to stay, whether it be temporary housing or whatever, help them build their resume, give them some clothes, get them food, get them established, and then network them with local businesses that need leaders in their businesses, not just employees, because
Right.
veterans are some of the biggest leaders our country has ever had. These are the strongest men and women. They're the most trained out there. These are the people that should be on the forefront of our corporations when they come back. But unfortunately, because they've advanced so far in their education and their training, all that in the military, when they come to a business to get a job, they think they're overqualified. So they don't even get the job. And that's why we see so many homeless veterans.
Yeah.
So if we can fix those kind of problems, we can fix the unemployment rates, we can fix the homeless rates, we can get these men and women into positions where they have purpose, have tasks, they have character, and they have a reason to show up every morning. So yeah, that is definitely something that we are looking at, but unfortunately, it's like eating an elephant. Can't do it all at the same time. You got to do it
Yeah.
one bite at a time. But we have goals, and that's why, again, it's going to take a community. It's going to take a state. It's going to take people that really believe in what we're doing to get behind us, both financially, both voluntarily, to make sure that we can make these goals and make these changes for our veteran communities.
Yeah. That's good. I'm glad you're going to be looking at that. So if I'm a family member and I'm concerned, I'm starting to see
Mhm.
signs. And so could I contact you directly and say,
Mhm.
hey, my brother is,
Yeah.
I think he's showing signs. This is what I'm seeing. Can you help us?
Yes. And that is something that can be done. A lot of times people will reach out through Instagram and TikTok. Those are the two main places. I don't get a whole lot through Facebook for whatever reason, but usually on there. And I think it's all my inboxes are open. Nothing's blocked. Everything comes right through to me. And I get it often. Like I have a certain wife, and I'm not going to name any names, but I have a certain wife that contacts me and says he's having an episode again. What do
Right.
I do? And then I'll talk to her. What is he saying? What is he doing? How's he acting? And then I'll even try to reach out to him. Sometimes he doesn't want to talk to me. Sometimes he does.
Right.
But she can be that first responder, and that's what we want to train. You know, my wife is presently going through to be certified as well, so that she can train the female spouses of the veterans and teach them signs and things to go through. It's honestly it's a family and friend organization, meaning
Mm.
the people that have watched me go through what I went through with my father have come alongside this organization and are stepping up and saying, we want to be part of it. We want to be trained. We want to be licensed. We want to make sure that we can give the proper help that we can to our veterans. And I've not seen this before. I mean, like I said, I've been doing a lot of this virtually. We do a lot. I have people, veterans that I counsel that are in Washington State, in California, in Colorado, Arizona. I mean, they're all over the country. A lot of them on that side of that other coast, but um, here locally, there's so many that want to just step up and say, let's change this. Let's fix this thing now. This is the time, and we need to step up and do it. So those inboxes are always open. If someone wants to reach out on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, send me a message. I will respond back. I have no problem giving out my number. If someone is truly in need, I want to make sure that I'm there for them. And one of the reasons why we started the organization is because my inbox is full. Like I get messages a lot. I get phone calls a lot. I get, you know, it's hard for one person to have done this. So the whole purpose behind starting this is because there's a huge need and I can't do this alone. And it's going to take people to come alongside us to help us out. So definitely reach out if there's anybody that's struggling, or even if you just need advice or something. I'm happy to help as best as I can. And if I don't call back right that second, I may be with somebody else at the time. But I try to give everybody as much time as necessary to help fix the problem.
Yeah. Now I know funding is an issue with a lot of things like this, but I'm a firm believer that charity starts at home and with the
Mhm.
church and as us individuals. So if someone's watching this and said, "Hey, I'd like to donate to something like this," how do they donate to you, your organization?
We're set right up on at missionphoenix.org. And they can donate right on that website. There's different options: credit card, PayPal, all different different things. If it's a corporation, which, you know, we would love to have some corporation backing,
Yeah.
because as much as we love to say the community can make this a reality, it really is going to take some big dollars from some big corporations, because what we're trying to do is not going to be cheap. But I'm gonna share this. Not a single person gets paid for Mission Phoenix. There's not a single person that's ever taken a dime for any of the actions that's done through Mission Phoenix. Even myself, starting the company, this is not, I pay my bills through other means. I don't take a penny for Mission Phoenix. It goes right back into helping. Our goal is a facility. If we can get a facility, actual location going, I guarantee you we can make a huge difference. But it's going to take some real people donating. And I will give a shout out to, you know, we got Lamar Advertising, all the billboards. They've been putting up free advertisement for us. They've been putting us up on billboards because, ironically, one of the ladies there, she went to church with my dad. She knew my dad, but they have been a huge support as far as getting the message out there. That's what we need. We just need people to come alongside of us, you know. And if someone says, you know what, I can't afford to help you out financially, not a problem. We have events that go on throughout the year. Volunteer, help us out. We need anything that we can get, because for someone to say, you know, there's so many veterans that are losing their lives, I can't do anything about it. That's a lie, because I was one of those people that couldn't do anything about it. And here we are 5 years later. There's always something that can be done. You can always volunteer. It doesn't take money. It takes time. It takes a heart, and it takes a passion to want to fix this problem, to actually make a difference.
Yeah, I agree. And you know, if we could just get the churches to make a donation to you, I think that would be a huge help to you. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to interview you, to help you get your information out there.
I
And as
appreciate it.
you know, even if it's how many, you know, at least it's those folks. And I know people who have been to Afghanistan and Iraq and the Persian Gulf, and are dealing with things. And so even as far back as Vietnam, and I had a guy that I went to school with that served in Panama in the Army Rangers. And, you know, a year ago, it's, you know, it can be that long. So this means something to me. And that's, like I said, and I want to help you get your information out there. I think what you're doing is great. And I understand the reason why you're behind it and everything. So anything else that you would like to add that I don't have the knowledge to ask the questions about?
Well, I do want to share this, because I talk about this a lot. You know, there's two real main topics that I talk about on social media. One of them is that until you sit in front of one of those cold white stones at a veteran cemetery, it's very hard to understand. It's hard to understand what the pain's like.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to prevent. There's unnecessary deaths that are happening, and we can prevent it, but we're not. The other point is that PTSD has got to be a lie. It can't be true, because if it was true, everybody would be doing something about it. But nobody's doing anything. Everybody's talking about being aware. So it's, if you're going to say that and I'm not saying that it is a lie, I'm saying basically people treat it like it's not real, but it's real. And I can tell you from a fact, because we're affected by it, if that makes sense. We've got to treat this thing like what it is. And it's not going to be done by just me. It's going to be done by an entire community of people that want to stop this. There are veterans. You'd be surprised how many veterans are in this community and how many veterans are hurting. And I can tell you personally, in the last week, I've probably touched well over 2 or 3 dozen of them that are hurting in this community alone. So, and that's nothing. That's not a big time frame. It would blow your mind, but yet they go unseen, unknown, because they don't talk about it. And the ones that are really struggling don't talk about it. But we can teach each other how to look for the signs and how to see where they're at, the pain that they're going through, and then start to fix that and work with them and start the healing process. You know, without hope, there is no way that any one of us is going to make it if we have no hope, if we have no purpose. And that's what we want to do, is we want to bring hope to these veterans, give them a purpose, give them a task. We joke, well, we don't joke. We have a program that's called Operation Tomorrow. And I talk to a lot of these veterans. I'm like, you know, you need to have a purpose. You need to have a task. That's what your mission. You're set on missions and operations. Well, your mission is to get through this. Your operation is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Get through tomorrow. That's it. And then tomorrow, get through tomorrow. Get through tomorrow. And if we can get that mindset in these veterans so that they're reaching out when they're hurting instead of retracting and isolating themselves, secluding themselves, we can make a big difference. Training the families, huge difference. If I knew then what I know now with my dad, I honestly believe my dad would not have lost his life. I honestly believe that. If my mom understood, if my sister, my brother understood. But now you have this family that is left in pain. And another thing I tell a lot of veterans, because when they think that their struggles are if they take their life, they're better off. Their families are better off. Everybody's better off without me. I hear this over and over and over. The fact of the matter is, and I can speak to this because I know this for a fact, that pain that the veteran's going through, it doesn't ever go away. When they take their life, all it does is that pain compounds on every single person that loved them. And that stays with them for the rest of their life. I will never be the same. And people that know me know this is not me. I would never have done this. My life got changed that day that I watched my father die. And I don't want my father to die in vain. It rewrote my wiring. It changed every perspective I have on life, on my mom's life, my sister and brother's life, my nephews, my nieces, my wife, my daughter. Everybody's life was impacted tenfold.
Yep.
And if we would have just paid attention ahead of time, we could have prevented it, and it would have saved so many hurt hearts and hurt lives.
Yeah. And you know, and the sad thing, given the last several years, and it was really magnified with the COVID, that a lot of people that's not veterans are getting to that point now. And it's a lot of hurting people walking around us every day.
Absolutely.
Realize.
Absolutely.
I mean, look at Robin Williams. Who would have ever thought? You know, and you know, but we see it every day, and I just hope somehow we can help fix this problem.
Yeah.
And at least, my God, try to minimize as much as possible.
Yeah. If we can save one life, it's worth every bit of effort.
Yeah.
Because that one life could have been my dad. You know, if someone came along beforehand, how grateful would I have been for someone to have done that for my father? But that's what we're doing now. We're trying to save somebody else's father, somebody else's mother, somebody else's sister or brother.
Yeah.
That's our goal.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to add?
That's it. missionphoenix.org. Please check us out. Check us out on social media. Follow us. We do have 2 big events coming out this year that we're part of. Our first one is Ride to Remember, May 20th. We're doing a motorcycle ride that we do every year. This will be our 3rd annual one. We're riding 22 miles to the Veterans Cemetery. And then we're doing a Warriors Night for our veterans after that, big bonfire where we're going to be retiring old flags, tattered flags. We're going to have our veterans properly dispose of worn flags and just have a great night of fellowship. And then we've got another event coming out. It's by 12 Outdoor. And they're going to be hosting an event in October that nobody's going to want to miss. You'll see a lot of advertising stuff on that, but that's going to be a great event that's going to help a lot of veterans as well. And we'll be out there and we'll be a major part of that, and hopefully impact our local community there too. So missionphoenix.org, check it out.
All right. All right, Josh, I appreciate you joining me. And
thank you, sir.
And coming on and letting everybody, giving the information for people that would need help or family members that would need help and stuff. So with that, I'll say thank you all for joining me, and we'll put up something again. We'll have more interviews and stuff. But Josh, this is very important, and I thank you again. Stay on the line once I end the recording, and we'll talk.
Yes, sir.
Again, thank you. God bless you all. Thank you for watching, and share this information to people. I mean, share it. It helps get it out there. It may reach one person, as he said. If it saves one person, it's worth it all. And you sharing this information may save that person. So with that, God bless you and have a great day.